Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I never thought I'd catch her like this. I mean, sure, I'd noticed things changing, small hints, little lies that didn't sit right, but I convinced myself it was just stress, life piling up. My name's Oliver, I'm 34, and I've been with Lila for 6 years. We moved in together 3 years ago, got a cozy apartment in the city, and for the most part I thought we were normal, happy, maybe not perfect, but comfortable. That night, though, something inside me told me to pay attention. She had gone out with her friends, which wasn't unusual. Lila loved a good night out. She was the spark in our dull routines, a whirlwind of laughter, energy, and charm. But she had left unusually late. It was past midnight when the last group text pinged, and I noticed her silence. I shrugged it off at first. Maybe she'd stayed late, maybe the traffic was bad. I tried not to think about it too much. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when I heard the faint sound of keys jingling at the door. My heart skipped, a strange mix of relief and an instinctive tension I couldn't shake. She opened the door quietly, her perfume filling the hallway, her coat draped over her arm. Lila always smelled like vanilla and something mischievous, something that made me remember why I loved her in the first place. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. My voice didn't betray the knot tightening in my stomach. "Hey," she murmured back. She hung her coat and went straight for the bedroom, heels clicking softly on the floor. Something about her movement felt off, measured, tense, not the free, laughing Lila I knew. I followed after a moment, telling myself I was overthinking. Maybe it really was just a long night, nothing more. I reached for the light switch, the living room light, the one we always left dim when she came home late, and flicked it on. The look on her face froze me in place. Lila's eyes widened. Her lips parted in shock. She stepped back instinctively, bumping against the wall as if I had appeared out of nowhere. And in that frozen second, everything that had been brewing under the surface, the late nights, the unexplained texts, the sudden avoidance of intimacy, snapped into clarity. I could see it in her eyes, the guilt, the panic, the calculation, and suddenly, all the pieces I'd tried to ignore fit together in a way I couldn't deny. "Oliver," she started, voice trembling, almost whispering. It's not what you think." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. The silence itself said everything. I felt my chest tighten, a mixture of betrayal and sorrow washing over me. I had loved her completely, trusted her without question, and now I realized that trust had been misplaced. I walked closer slowly, not to intimidate, not to confront, just to be present, to see her face clearly. The apartment was small, the light harsh on her delicate features, and I noticed every subtle sign. The blush on her cheeks, the fidgeting hands, the way she avoided my gaze. My heart pounded, but there was a strange calm in the clarity of the moment. I understood. She stumbled over her words, trying to explain, but it came out all wrong. She couldn't meet my eyes, and when she finally did, I could see it. The truth she couldn't say aloud. I'd been standing in front of the consequences of a choice she had made, a choice that had nothing to do with us, with love, with the things we built together. For a long moment, we just stood there, me trying to process, trying to steady my racing thoughts, and her, caught in a web she hadn't planned to face. My mind replayed every small hint I had brushed off. The extra care with her outfit before going out, the sudden late work excuses, the brief glances at her phone that I had sworn I didn't notice. And then it hit me. This wasn't about stress. This wasn't about work or friendship. It was something else entirely. Something I had refused to see. I wanted to speak, to demand answers, to yell, to make her explain, but I didn't. I just let the moment stretch, letting the weight of truth settle between us like a storm cloud. The quiet was heavy, but it was honest. Lila's lips quivered. "Oliver, her voice cracked, and I finally realized she was trying to contain a confession, something she could no longer hide. The shame in her eyes was undeniable, but so was the fear. Fear of losing me, fear of judgment, fear of the consequences she knew were unavoidable. I took a step back, my own voice small, steady. "You don't have to say it," I told her. "I already know." Her eyes filled with tears, and in that moment, I saw not just the person I loved, but a stranger shaped by decisions I had no part in. I felt a hollowness, a deep, aching void that comes when trust fractures and innocence dies. And yet, beneath it all, there was clarity. A bitter, sharp clarity that told me the life we had known was over, or at least changed forever. I turned slightly, not leaving, but giving her space. And in that brief pause, the weight of the moment pressed down on us both. The night had shifted irreversibly. I wasn't angry. I wasn't shouting. I was just awake. The silence stretched on, thick and suffocating. I could hear her quiet sobs now, muffled, but deliberate. Lila tried to compose herself, wiped her cheeks, but I knew it was futile. The mask was off, and for the first time, I could see her completely unguarded. "Oliver, I made a mistake," she whispered, voice barely audible. "It was just one night. I didn't mean for it to happen." I looked at her, my chest tight, the words stuck somewhere between anger and sorrow. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand why, but instead I felt a cold calmness seep into me. One night had undone months, maybe years of what I thought we had. "I know," I said finally, my voice low, steady. "I know exactly what happened." She flinched slightly, as if the acknowledgement itself hurt her. I could see the guilt written all over her face. Her hand trembled as she reached for mine, but I didn't move. I had loved her enough to trust, enough to forgive mistakes. But this was different. This was deliberate, a choice that didn't include me. I don't want to lose you," she admitted, desperation creeping into her tone. I don't know what I was thinking. I was stupid. It didn't mean anything." Her words hung in the air, fragile and trembling. I swallowed hard, feeling the hollow weight of them. Because I couldn't deny it, they did mean something. They meant betrayal, disregard, and the fragile end of the world I thought I knew. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. "Lila, love isn't just about mistakes. It's about respect, honesty, trust. You chose to break that last night. You chose someone else, even for a moment, over the person you promised to be with." She hung her head, tears streaming freely now. "I know. I was weak. I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you." "I know you didn't," I said. "But wanting not to hurt me and actually hurting me, that's not the same thing. Actions matter. And yours changed everything." For the first time in hours, she looked up at me, eyes wide, glistening with fear and regret. What are we going to do?" I paused. I felt the anger, the heartbreak, the betrayal, all of it crashing over me, but I also felt clarity. The clarity that comes when you finally see the truth and refuse to ignore it. We need space," I said finally. "I need to think. I need to understand if us, is even possible anymore." She nodded, almost violently, as if she had been waiting for me to say it. The apartment, once our sanctuary, felt foreign now, charged with every secret and unspoken lie. We moved around each other cautiously, the air heavy, each step measured, as though the walls themselves were witnesses to our unraveling. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water and turned to face her. She was trembling, shoulders shaking, hands clenching and unclenching. I can't undo what I did," she said. "But I want to make it right. I want to try. Please, just one chance." I studied her, weighing the sincerity against the damage done. I wanted to reach for her, to pull her close and forget everything in a heartbeat, but I couldn't. Not yet. The trust was gone, fragile as shattered glass, and I couldn't just glue it back together with words alone. "Lila," I said softly, "I loved you. I still do. But love isn't enough when respect is gone. When one night can erase everything we've built. I need time. I need space. And I need to see that the person I trusted is still here. Really here." She lowered her gaze, silent now, the weight of my words pressing down on her. And for the first time, I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not revenge, just a strange, sharp clarity. The kind of clarity that hurts, but also frees you. I stepped back, letting her have her space, and for the first time in months, I felt a quiet steadiness settle in my chest. I wasn't running. I wasn't lashing out. I was just awake, aware of the betrayal, but aware of myself too. We didn't talk much after that night. I gave her space and I took my own. I needed to process, to breathe, to remember who I was before this storm swept in. And slowly, over the next few days, something remarkable happened. The tension eased, the apartment felt less suffocating, and I realized I had begun to reclaim my life. Not with anger, but with clarity. A week later, she came to me, tears in her eyes, asking to talk. And I listened. But this time I wasn't desperate. I wasn't pleading. I was calm. I knew the truth, I knew my worth, and I knew the boundaries I had to maintain. It wasn't easy. It wasn't neat. But for the first time in a long while, I felt a sense of control over my own life, my own heart. And in that stillness, I understood something I hadn't before. Betrayal doesn't just hurt because of the act itself. It hurts because it forces you to see clearly, to see who you are and what you deserve. I realized then that love, no matter how deep, can't thrive without respect. And that night, when I turned on the light and saw the truth in her eyes, I didn't just see betrayal. I saw clarity, freedom, and the first spark of a life rebuilt on my own terms. Sometimes the hardest truths bring the greatest clarity. And sometimes you have to let someone go, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but because they've chosen a different path. That night, I learned that clarity is stronger than heartbreak, and freedom is stronger than despair. And as I finally stood alone in the quiet apartment, I felt it. The weight had lifted. The betrayal had burned, yes. But from that fire, something stronger had emerged. A sense of peace. A sense of self. I wasn't running from love. I was running toward clarity.